All by myself, don't wanna be all by myself anymore. Hey, whoa, you there? Didn't know you were there, Whoa, sorry. No, I'm fine. Don't worry about me. I'm not worried about being all by myself. If you see the video yesterday, you'll know what I'm talking about. She left me, folks. She's left me. Only for a week, but it might as well be for a lifetime. Left me. Unbelievable. For warmer climes. Not bothered about me at all. But don't worry about me. I'm alright. I told you I was looking after myself yesterday. I did. I'll run you through it quickly. I will not be withering away. Don't worry about that. I had the old Sunday dinner as promised. Lovely it was too. And after that, as a bit of an aperitif, well no, that's before it, isn't it? Anyway, whatever. After that, I made some chicken soup. Never made it before. Absolute Bobby Dazzle it was. Lovely. Had it for my dinner today. Ernie does makes it on a regular basis and makes it very, very well. I've never made it before. I know what goes into it, but I don't know how much sage and onion to put in. And I'm not a lover of stuffing. I don't like too much of it in there because I can't eat it. I had to get it just right and I guessed. And it was spot on. Lovely it was. I've had it today. And then I'm going to have it. There's a portion gone in fridge. I'll have some later this week for my dinner, I think. Really nice. I enjoyed it. Tonight, chips and the old chicken curry. Proper chicken curry from Chinese, the old Ruby Murray. All good stuff. I'm looking forward to it. I bought it on Saturday. It was a huge portion. I don't normally eat half and eat half another day. I have it all in one go, me. I'm a greedy person. But I had something else before it, so I ate half, kept half. That'll do me for tonight while I've had a bit of soup at dinner. So I'm sound, don't worry. Now, just so as you know, folks, I don't rehearse anything, but this has gone out twice, this message. I have done that for the racing fraternity. But this channel's almost split in two. The racing folk and the folk that like the celebrity news and the way of the world and what's happening today and all that palaver, you see. So I've done it twice. I don't have a script. I don't need a script. It just comes reasonably naturally. But I know some of you will have watched the video yesterday about, the old Home Alone, leaving me home alone. So it was a follow-up to that. But don't worry. I'm all right being all by myself. Don't worry about that at all. Nothing to worry about on that front. I'll be all right, don't you? But as I say, I won't be withering away as the week goes on. I'll eat pretty well. I can look after myself. No problem at all. Right, Farage and Boris. Old Nigel has said today, no. I don't look at teaming up with Boris. I'm not looking at that at all. No, Reform and Conservative. It won't work. We don't need them. I can't see it. Well, I thought to myself, I get that because were they to team up, who would be number one? Who would be number one? I can't see any of them being number two or wanting to be number two. I think with it to turn up, Boris would only accept if he was number one. He would say, I've been PM before. I'm more versed in politics and whatever else. I'm your proper politician. Nigel, you're more of a disruptor and whatever else. I'll have to be number one. I think Nigel would go for that, but he'd say, well, I'm going to be your number two, but I want a hand in every single decision, and there's a few things here that I want you to agree to before you start. That could happen. I don't think Boris would be number two at all. But what shocks me is, or what surprises me, it got floated 2 or 3 days ago. It's been floated for a while. Could they team up to beat Labour, blah, 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 blah. The same question was asked to Nigel about 12, 18 months ago about teaming up. I think when Boris was struggling before he got kicked out. Oh no, after he got kicked out. When Rishi was struggling. Should we have Boris back? What about if we got Boris back? Could they have a dream ticket? Boris and Nigel. Nigel as his number two. Blah, 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 blah. That was before Nigel went back into Reform and running the party. And Nigel's response at that time was, if memory serves, well, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to say yes. He'd have to ask me. But I quite like him, and we are aligned on some politics. He'd have to ask. Now, that was at a time when Nigel wasn't running Reform. Reform weren't doing as well as they're doing now. Labour hadn't come in and done the train crash that they've since had. And it was at a time when there was never a chance for Nigel Farage as PM. He'd always said he didn't want to be PM and whatever else. He's changed that tune about 5 or 6 months ago now. After coming back in to Reform, he said it wasn't a long-term thing. He didn't think. It's looking more long-term now. He just wanted to come and help the party. And all of a sudden, now he's saying, when the opinion polls are saying that many prefer him to Badenoch and Starmer, he's saying, well, it could happen. You don't know. If the public want me to do it, I'd be willing to do it. I seen he said about 3 days ago now, as far as he can see, as far as he's concerned, it's a 35% chance it's going to be him next, he thinks. And it's only growing, the numbers are growing, he said. So I'm thinking, when he wasn't running a party, particularly doing well, and wanted to get his mush out there, and getting the public consciousness even more, when the idea was floated about him joining Boris, a bit of an alliance, he was pretty keen. Now I think his star has risen that much, and he thinks there's a job there for him, the big hit. He thinks, well, I don't need Boris. He's not as keen, which I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying I want them together. I'm certainly not saying I like Boris, and I'm not 100% sure about Nigel. I probably have him over the other two, but I'm not sure about him at all. But I don't like the idea of him 12, 18 months ago, reasonably keen on the idea, and now, because he's doing better, absolutely no chance. I don't like that kind of politics, you see, folks. I don't like it at all. That's more in line with what's happening with Labour now and what happened with Conservatives before them. As I've said, you just couldn't trust anybody. Did ask somebody, well, I asked you all yesterday, is there a politician out there we can trust? And one young lady came back with one name, so I've looked on serious because I didn't know who it was. I have seen his face before, and I'm going to follow him now going forward and see if she's right, because nobody else suggested anybody. Not many watched the video, I will admit to that, but I think nobody could put anybody out there because nobody trusts any bugger. And that's the problem out there at the moment. You can't trust any of them. But no, Nigel says it's not for him. He doesn't want to be an alliance there with Boris. He doesn't want it at all.